What's up guys? Today's video is going to be a shop my stash of sorts. I've done these videos in the past. I'll click the I up there if you want to go check them out. But in those, I tend to grab old products that are underused, underloved in my collection and create a totally new look, just kind of whatever comes to me. This time around, I'm going to be reaching for products that I already have, but it's going to be in an effort to recreate a look that's already been done, but using a brand new product that I don't actually own, which was probably the most confusing way to explain this, but let me break it down. The Natasha Denona Sunrise, right? It's a Sunrise palette? Yes, called the Sunrise palette, has just launched. I am so tempted to pick this up, but I'm a little fatigued with all the new launches lately, which I feel like that's becoming more and more frequent as the new launches increase. And I just feel not only like I'm overwhelmed with what I have, because I've purchased a good amount of new products recently and have enjoyed them, and yet I still feel drawn to purchase this one. And yet when I really take a look at it, I'm drawn to the berries. I know I have those in my collection. I love the yellow in there, but no, I probably also have those too. And there are some fantastic looking textures in the Sunrise palette, but those have also become more popular in newer launches. So rather than buy a new palette and kind of contribute to the clutter in my collection, I love Natasha Denona. It has nothing to do with the brand. I have a lot of her products, but I'm gonna try and recreate what does she call it? She calls it a lilac cut crease makeup. She just posted it to her YouTube channel. And so in a public attempt to show myself that I have all the tools and the products that I need to create this look without buying something else, I'm gonna try and recreate it with the stuff I already have in my collection. So I've obviously already done the look, wearing it right here. Let me know what you think. I'll put a picture of what she did up compared to what I have done. Let me know what you think about the similarities, for now in the comments. And you might be surprised with the products that I ended up using to create it. So if you're interested, let's go ahead and get started. All right, so to start the look off, she began with a matte crease shade, looks like a very pale yellow. So for that, I actually reached into my Sydney Grace Lemon Cream. This is available as a single, so to the extent you can't find a very similar ultra pale lemony yellow matte shade in your collection, you can buy this as a single. And I just used a fluffy crease brush from Wet n Wild to blend that throughout both creases. Then she moves in with the duochrome / textured shade, and this is what I thought was going to be the hardest to dupe because Natasha Denona does amazing textured shades. However, I remembered that I just bought and reviewed the new Huda Beauty Neon palettes, the green and the orange one actually, in case you want to check that review out. But one thing that I loved about the green palette was all of the duochromes and textures in here. So the way I basically went off of the way she described the shade, which was a mixtures of blues, lilac, purple, some greens, and I basically just mixed all of these, the entire middle row, and then the bottom right light lilac-y lavender down there. I mixed those all together, first with my finger, and then later on with the brush, and I patted that on my entire lid space. Now, I don't think the Huda Beauty are quite as pigmented as the Natasha Denona, just in judging by how hers applied in the video, so I did actually go in and wet my brush as I was applying some of these shades just to really intensify that pigmentation, but I do feel like the end result really got me close to the shifty lilac shade that Natasha is using on her model. I'll be honest, this was the last palette I expected to find these shades in just because obviously green is the color I associate most with it, and yet sure enough, if you take enough time to look around at what you have, there they are sitting right in front of you. Next up is the berry shade in the crease, and I knew exactly which palette I was going to run to for this one because it was such a long time love of mine, and I think for a lot of ours. It's the Anastasia Modern Renaissance palette, and honestly it's probably the palette that popularized berries in eyeshadow palettes. I feel like they were kind of a no-no shade. People were uncomfortable, felt like they might make their eye area look too sickly, and then this launched and everyone was like, why haven't we been wearing berries our whole lives? You know what I'm saying? So went in here and I ended up going in with shade Love Letter just because it was a little bit more bright, a little bit more purpley as opposed to bricky like this Venetian red. So that is what I used on a smaller domed brush to really carve out my crease. Then later went in with that blending brush that I used with the light yellow Rose shade from earlier, use that to blend it out. And really those are all of the shades that I had to pull for this look. The rest of it is just going in with that same berry shade, using it to add some detail connecting the crease to the outer half of the upper lash line. And it's also used to emphasize like the outer third of the lower, outer third to outer half. Really, it depends on your eye shape and your preference for wearing your eyeshadows. I took it into about the inner half, really tapering it on into my inner corner. And then I went back in with those duochromes from the neon lime green palette, specifically the one in that lower right hand corner, just because it has the most strong lilac-y shift. Wet my brush again and then went to pat that in the inner corner, as well as the lower lash line where it meets up with that berry shade. And that's literally it. I applied mascara and that's all she wrote. Really shockingly easy to find shades that, while I am sure they are not exact dupes, definitely accomplish a very similar look, and a look that I'm really happy with. I think the one challenge might be those textures and duochrome still, especially if you don't own the Lime Neon palette from Huda Beauty, but I think a similar effect could be achieved with, you know, just a straight up lavender shimmery shadow and then maybe putting something with a shifty lime or a shifty green over top. So just playing with the shadows you have and layering them, which is kind of another lesson here, like in really working to find something that, you know, duped those Natasha Denona shadows as best as I could. Sometimes it took mixing and matching, which is not always the first thing to pop into my head. So a lot of this stuff might be things that you guys are already doing and it's like nothing new to you, but I don't know, I just thought this was kind of a fun exercise, if you will, I guess, to help myself rediscover the products I have and yet give myself the same excitement that buying that new product and recreating that look that Natasha Denona just did. Because sometimes I'll see those videos using new products and that'll be all it takes for me to buy them, because I love makeup, I love new makeup, I love trying new things, but I really, really want to get better about loving and using the stuff that I already have. So that's kind of my Shop My Stash Low Buy edition. Let me know what you think of this format of video. Let me know any other shades you think might be comparable to those in this look or in the sunset, sunrise, whatever palette it is altogether. And besides that, guys, thanks so much for watching and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.